Holly Gillibrand.
Hi everyone. First I'd like to say thank you for inviting me here today. And as Lorna said, I am Holly Gillibrand. I'm a 14-year-old environmental activist and school climate striker. I'm going to introduce the party political broadcast that was shown on STV and BBC News last night. But before I do that, I'd like to talk about what has happened since I last spoke at the Scottish Green Conference in April. So on April the 28th, the First Minister declared a climate and ecological emergency. That was over 5 months ago, and since then, basically nothing has changed. The unprecedented systemic change that is needed is still nowhere in sight. The UN Climate Action Summit in New York was a failure. It failed to safeguard my generation's future, the future of generations to come, and the future of the living world on which we all depend. And it failed to protect those unseen, unheard people in the global south who are already suffering because of this crisis. Last Friday, the 2019 State of Nature report was launched. According to the report, 48% of Scottish species have declined in abundance, and 11% are at risk of extinction. Scotland has suffered the most severe decline of species abundance in the United Kingdom. I find these statistics very horrifying and also very difficult to comprehend because they are made all the more devastating because this is the world that we are being handed. And the politicians who say that they want to leave this world in a better state than when they came into it are kidding themselves, because if they meant it, they would not continue to support fossil fuel exploration, spaceport developments, and fantasize about eternal economic growth. Of course, I'm only a child. Some people might call me silly and naive, but it doesn't make sense to me that the normal people out there in London and cities around the world today are being arrested for fighting to protect the future of everyone, while criminal companies and corporations get away with fueling the destruction of our world. Being a youth activist means juggling speech writing, phone calls, and online meetings with English essays and maths revision. As Greta said, this is all wrong. I shouldn't have to be doing this. But my generation and the activists out there on the streets right now don't have a choice, because our leaders are refusing to take the action and shoulder the responsibility that they should have taken long ago. We are waking up. On September the 20th, 40,000 people, young and old, went on strike in Scotland, alongside millions around the world, because we have had enough. We have had enough of empty promises, meaningless words, and criminal inaction. We need to prioritize the climate and ecological emergency above everything, and we need to focus all our energy on fixing this crisis. This is why I think the Scottish Green New Deal is so important, because it does just that. But we also need to remember that this is above all an emergency. It's not an opportunity. The climate crisis is not an opportunity for people in the Bahamas, in the Solomons, in Kerala, in Mozambique, whose lives and livelihoods have already been severely damaged because of this. This is not about doing what is politically feasible. It is about what is socially, environmentally, and economically necessary.